Hey guys, welcome to another week of a WoW Weekly with Myst. For this week we have Arena Skirmish, the PvP Brawl will be Deep 6, and Dark Moon Fair will start on Sunday, and that's pretty much all that's going on this week. So not too much really happening. It's a good catch-up week on anything you care to catch up on. As far as news goes, we got a shit ton, so much that I almost told you guys of some in the community tab, like Tuesday, and there was just so much good stuff that I'm like, fuck it, I'll just leave it for the WoW Weekly video. Some of it so good that I thought it was an early April Fool's. So I was kind of reluctant to share it, but typically if they're gonna do an April Fool's joke, they do save those till actual April 1st. So yeah, anything you hear about on April 1st, don't just believe it right off the bat. But anyway, let's get into the news. There is a lot. So let's start with Season 4. I was a little disturbed when I heard about this, I will fully admit. I know a lot of people are hyped, but to me, that screams we're in Shadowlands for a long fucking time. But nonetheless, Season 4 is coming. No dates because, we just entered this recent patch. So yeah, that right there tells you that with a Season 4 approaching, that we are going nowhere anytime soon. So one cool thing with Season 4 though is that for the Mythic Plus dungeons, they're changing things up a bit. So we're going to have 2 Tazavesh, the 2 Operation Mechagon, the 2 Kara, and 2 WoD dungeons. In this little clip here, you can actually see me voting. This was right at the beginning when the poll had just gone up. Me personally, I am all for Grimrail and Skyreach, which is what you're going to see in today's footage. I chose to use my 2 favorite WoD dungeons as today's footage, and they are what I voted on. I'm looking at the stats now, and I always record these videos Sunday, so the day before I post them. And I'm looking at the stats right now, and Grimrail is a 100% gonna be a Mythic Plus dungeon. That one is in the lead so far. Yeah. Unfortunately, Skyreach is not gonna make it. There is no way Skyreach is gonna get another 10% or higher within 2 days. And that'll be more like 1 day by the time you see this video. One other reason I'm showing this is that you still have time to vote. If you didn't know about this, there's 1 day left, so go and vote. And please don't vote for Upper Blackrock. I hate that it's so high up in the list. I will be so upset if it ends up being the second most voted, because I really don't want to do Upper Blackrock on a Mythic Plus. A lot of people probably are wondering why people would pick Grimrail. I think a lot of people might not be thinking of the fact that it's gonna be an M+, but the thing is, Grimrail has easy mechanics if you follow it. The only boss I can see Grimrail being a pain on is the one that I'm approaching right now. He has some mechanics. You pick some stuff up, you go in the machine, shoot it at the boss, and, you're dodging stuff, and yeah, there's some mechanics there, but aside from him, Grimrail's a super easy dungeon. I think Iron Docks could be decent for an M+, but lots of trash in Iron Docks, so yeah, you'd be going through a lot of trash, especially at the beginning. It feels like forever before you actually kill a boss, even although the boss is like right at the entrance, because there's so much trash in those 2 rooms. But I don't think it's gonna be bad. If it ends up being Grimrail and Iron Docks, it's not gonna be horrible M+. The one that I thought would be a fucking nightmare, luckily, is losing big time in this list, and that's Everbloom. Everbloom's a nice easy dungeon, but on an M+, that place I think would be a nightmare because that is another heavy ads place. There's a lot of trash in that dungeon. So I'm glad that no one was voting on that. Well, some people were, but not enough. So that's what's going on with those. Personally, I think it's a step in the right direction. I am glad to see Kara in there. I do really love Kara as both a raid and a dungeon. And yeah, Tazavesh, I think the only reason Tazavesh is in there is because Tazavesh is a Shadowlands dungeon, and you gotta keep Shadowlands in the mix, right? And they seem to be going off a system here, like a pattern. And if you exclude the WoD dungeons, you can see that all those dungeons are like 2-part dungeons. So they obviously were going after a pattern. So when they were deciding on the ones that don't require voting, you know, they decided on those 2-parters, those mega dungeon type ones. It will be interesting to see the WoD ones in action, though, because for those that are maybe new to the game or new to Mythics, Mythics came out with Legion, and Legion was the expansion after WoD, so we never experienced M+ in WoD. It was in testing. I do remember some testing in WoD to see how it could pan out. It just never included WoD dungeons. So that'll be interesting to see. I do like that they're trying something new. Personally, though, I don't think this is gonna last very long. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool new thing. It's nice to see them kind of stepping out of their comfort zone and risking some stuff here. But at the end of the day, you're still going to get sick of those. While I like some of the mega dungeons, I will admit, when I'm doing Mythic Plus, in BFA, I always hoped I wouldn't get Mechagon. And now in Shadowlands, I always hope I'm not going to get Tazavesh. And they're still good dungeons, but when you're running them nonstop and you know chances are your key is going to be a mega dungeon key, I don't know. That just doesn't interest me. So, like I said, cool that they're trying new things, but I don't think it's for everyone, you know. I don't think it's really going to bring people back. To be honest, you know, if you really look at this and you look at the fact that most of the keys are mega dungeon, that means you only have a chance of 5 different dungeons because you'd have the 2 different WoD dungeons, and then you have 3 keys that, you know, 2 each are the same dungeon, just different parts of it. Right? So if you're looking for a little variety, this probably looks like variety, but the way I'm looking at it, I don't see a whole lot of variety here, because you could get, you could be getting like Tazavesh every week, just off of the fact that there's 2 chances there, right? And I get there's 2 chances in Shadowlands right now, but there's also a bunch of single dungeons you can also get as well. Right now, how the Mythics go is you have a chance of 8 dungeons, excluding the 2 Tazavesh, of course. So with Tazavesh, 10 dungeons. I personally like that better. I think you have to really love mega dungeons to like this change. So I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but to some people, I think it will be bad. Personally, what I hope they do is they just make this selection an addition to the already Mythic Plus keys, because I really like Spires, and I think I'll be a little upset that I can't run Spires. And personally, I love to push keys, but I will always dread every Mega Dungeon Mythic Plus key I get. Even this week, I got Tazavesh as a key. And you know what happens on those weeks that I get Tazavesh or like a Mega Dungeon key? It was the same with BFA and Mechagon. I don't do Mythics till the last minute. That's pretty much what ends up happening. If my key is a Mega Dungeon, I either don't do my M Plus till like Monday, the day before reset, or I skip it altogether. Unless I decide to go in on a friend's key or something. And it's not that I don't like the Mega Dungeons. It's cool that they split them up for M Plus, I guess. But I like them as a full dungeon. Like, if I'm gonna do Tazavesh, I want to do both sides of Tazavesh. If I'm gonna do Mechagon or Operation Mechagon, I want to do both, the full Mechagon run, right? So I'm just not a fan of the split up Mega Dungeons. And I understand why they did that. You can't put a Mega Dungeon as a key. You have to split that up. No one's gonna ever want to do a big ass dungeon like that on a timer. But that's what kind of killed it for me for Mythic Plus, and that's why I never want those keys, because I only ever wanted to do them in my spare time, you know, maybe to do transmog farming or something. I just, whenever I do them, I feel incomplete, like I skipped a bunch of stuff because it's only half the dungeon. I will admit, I'm secretly hoping that this was an early April Fool's joke and that we're not getting all these mecha dungeons in a Season 4 M+. But I guess we'll just see. It will be interesting to see if they do some stuff with raids down the road. They have kind of mentioned that they're imagining adding a progenitor-themed affix system to some of the mechanics in Castle Nothria, Sanctum, and the first one's raid. They want to make the raids kind of relevant to the season. So that would be cool. That would involve higher item level loot dropping. And one last thing just to kind of end our Season 4 stuff. So these are the new PvP Season 4 mounts that will be in the picture. This is the Vicious Warstalker and the Alliance and Horde versions of it. And right here will be the Season 4 Gladiator mount. This is the Eternal Gladiator Soul Eater. Okay, so that covers all the Season 4 stuff. I just want to add in one final thought of mine, and it is that it was hard to do this part of the video because I don't believe even what I'm telling you guys. I think this is completely an early April Fool's joke. I am expecting on April 1st for them to say, haha, you got punked. You know, like I am having a hard time believing this. And it's not that I'm having a hard time believing there's a Season 4. Like, we're in a content drought. I don't doubt that they would put a Season 4 in, but it's those dungeons that are doubting me. That it's a bold move and they made crappy choices in them. And yeah, so if this is real, I just really hope they change some of those dungeons. Give us a little more variety. The only thing that makes me think that it might be real, and that's why I'm even reporting it to begin with, is these mounts. You know, they seem legit. They could be a thing, you know. I will say, though, that I always kind of thought there would be another new zone, because I still think it's weird that we're flying in Xerath. I'm not quite used to being able to fly in the final zone. Like with your actual mount, you know. And yeah, I'm just that always had me kind of weirded out. And yeah, the minute I knew we were getting Flight and Zereth Mortis, I kept asking myself, you know, are they hiding another new zone for the expansion? Yeah. But who knows? They could just be doing things differently. But yeah, I just wanted to leave you with that, though, that there is a high chance that April 1st rolls around and they say, haha, we got you. So, yeah. So the next hype news that we got has to do with the Mage Tower. This week, we will have the Mage Tower back, and it is no longer tied to Legion time walking, and it will permanently be back. So you'll be able to do your challenges whenever you want. Okay, so in this most recent patch we got, you guys, I'm sure, have seen the new Druid form running around, some people using it. There's definitely some mixed feelings on that one from many people. But there is going to be a new tint added into the next patch. And this is it here. I think the color is pretty nice, honestly. Would I use it? No. I don't even use that other one. The one that just got added. I'm very particular with my Druid. I've been using the same skin since, well, the skin I use right now, I got through Legion artifact stuff. So, yeah. I like the really colorful stuff and the stuff that still makes me look like the original Druid. You know, I don't like to really steer too far away from the originality of my Druid. So we also found out that the campaign isn't actually done. So last week I had done a video on the final chapter, and then shortly after posting that video, we were kind of all surprised when they said that there was going to actually be an epilogue chapter. So there is going to be one final chapter you're going to see this week on Reset. It's going to be called Judgment. So even although you have the achievement, you're still going to see this. It's the final epilogue, and yeah. Okay, so the Dark Iron Dwarf is going to have a new questline for their Heritage set. That questline is going to start in Shadowforge City, which is in Blackrock. And the quest will be called the Anvil Thane's Design. You're going to get the Arsenal Dark Iron Armaments. Here's some pictures here. And then also near the end of that quest chain, there's going to be another quest called Good Fury Boy. That is going to award you the Flame Wolf, which is the new mount. And he's got some Dark Iron themed armor on him. He is interesting looking. That is the word that comes to mind. I like the armor that's on him, but something just doesn't feel right with this guy. Yeah. That doesn't mean I won't go for him, of course. I love my Heritage questlines and all that. But there is something interesting with him, and yeah, he'll just be a mount I collect. So another mount we found out about this past week is the Green Hawkstrider mount. And on the description, it says, in defense of the Ghostlands, even the elusive green Hawkstriders came to the effort. So that kind of screams event mount to me. So that's rumored to potentially be awarded through the questline. I've got my own thoughts on this. I think the Green Hawkstrider is an event thing. I don't think it is part of the Blood Elf questline, but no one knows, so everyone's got their own little guessing game they can do. And yeah, the reason I think it's more a war event, you know, maybe an assault that happens, is the way the description's worded. You know, in defense of the Ghostlands, even the elusive Green Hawkstriders came to the effort. You know, to me, that means that something's going to go down in the Ghostlands. and you're gonna have to go protect it. So there's gonna be a quest chain that happens here, the Blood Elf Special quest line. And if you are on a Blood Elf Paladin, you are gonna have a different quest at the end of that quest line. And that quest completion is gonna get you some transmogs. So it will get you the Blood Knight's Dedication Helm and the Blood Knight's Dedication Belt. And also you can see that there is an exclusive Blood Knight tab that you will get as well. So as for this quest line, it actually starts in Oribos, which is right near the Ogrimmar portal, so super easy to find. And she's going to give you a quest called Summons from the Patriarch, and then you go to Silvermoon and start doing your stuff. I don't want to give you spoils, so I'm not going to go in every step, but that is how you start it. The next thing that was data mined was the Gooey Slimesaber mount. Now, this one's highly believable because I had always told my community at the beginning, near the end of, I think it was during the Shadowlands pre-patch when we're like voting on, Shadowlands mounts and stuff. I had said that somehow, some way, we will see all of them. Whatever one wins will be the freebie, but we will see all of them. And we have gotten close. This would be the third. So, because we won the tree one, we got the book through the Legion, the Mage Tower stuff. And then there would be this one, which we don't know how we're getting it, but yeah. So this was data mined. I'm going to slap down this picture. This is a better picture to kind of get an idea. This is not the model it would look like, but it is some ideas that were happening when we were voting on what mount we would want for free. So yeah, other than that, not much to say here. It's just been a data mined, they found the icon and that's pretty much all we know. How I would like to see this go down is I would love to see a quest line involved with this one, just because it kind of screams Plaguefall, and I would love to see something in Plaguefall, and we all know it's not going to be just sitting in Plaguefall because they put that other mount in last year where you go in and you like solo it and get the mount. Yeah, so we're not going to get that, but some sort of quest line involving that would be really cool. Yeah, I would love to see stuff. I really hate when they just kind of hand us mounts. I like a little story to go along with it. So I always hope for these quest line, they don't have to be long, just like a little quest line to show why we're getting this mount and what we did to deserve it. And, it is also quite possible that if what I said at the beginning of this video is actually real and we are getting different Mythic Plus dungeons for Season 4, then maybe there's an achievement for doing those. The only thing that kind of makes me think, maybe not, is that it would not fit that kind of theme. There's nothing that calls out a slime cat out of any of those dungeons. I'd totally be up for a little slime cat Maldraxxus secret mount hunt. That would be cool. The Sleigh Mount, this one I was really reluctant to report on just because I have been wanting a Sleigh Mount for so long, and there is no real detail on this sucker. This picture you're seeing isn't even a picture of the Sleigh Mount. This is just a random testing picture. The source mentioned is Uncle Big Pocket selling it for 120,000. What do we know that he sells for 120,000? Repair mount, right? And you want to know what logo is attached to this? it is that repair mount. So nothing is saying that this is actually legit right now. So that is why I didn't report on it earlier. I had some questions from some people, asking, they were asking if I knew about it. And of course I knew about it. But I don't like to report on fake stuff, right? And I was so certain that this Sleigh Mount was an early April Fool's joke. I am still kind of thinking that, right? So all I'm going to say is it was apparently data mined, and there's no proof it exists, and we probably would not see any sort of proof until Christmas, when it would show up on a vendor. And I highly doubt it would show up on that vendor. It would be a Christmas item, right? It would probably show up on a Christmas vendor. So this is all hearsay, from this point. They are going to have to prove to me way harder that this thing actually exists. Because to me, it's just no different than when people make fake pictures on on the new expansion, right? So unfortunately, I'm reluctant to believe in the Sleigh Mount, but if it does become an actual thing, then I would be super hyped for it. I have been wanting a Sleigh Mount. I have the perfect character for a Sleigh Mount. And yeah, I would love to see that become real, but right now, I don't believe it. But I thought I would show you guys anyway, because I know some of you guys are expecting for me to report on it. So, here's my report on it. Yeah. But yeah, I am gonna need a little more confirmation on that before I believe it. However, I will say that even if it is an early April Fool's joke, December's a long ways away. So if a lot of hype happened because of this Sleigh Mount, which I gotta imagine that everyone would be totally up for a Sleigh Mount, it doesn't mean that they wouldn't make it real, right? They got tons of time to throw a Sleigh Mount into the game. And I have so badly wanted them to start upgrading the holiday stuff. A lot of us who have been playing a long time have had all the holiday stuff for years. So, yeah, it would be nice to see something new that you can actually purchase off the vendor, rather than just getting, your one special gift out of the gifts. Although, it would be cool for that to be that, but I don't think they would ever give us a mount as the special, freebie gift. Yeah, I do very much believe that if it does come into the picture, it would be a purchase, and I would believe a high amount like that. I just don't believe it right now because of it being exactly the amount of the repair. It's on a weird vendor for being a Christmas item. And the fact that it has the yak icon yells fake. But who knows? It could be a hint that they are at least thinking about making a model for a Sleigh Mount. One thing I would like to add, though, is there's been a lot of people saying, so this confirms the next patch wouldn't come out till Christmas. Don't take that to heart. I've seen them data mine a lot of Christmas items in the past, and we've gotten the patch earlier, and then when Christmas comes, you just find out that you're able to buy that item. It does not necessarily mean that you're not getting the patch till December. It just means that as long as the patch is this year, then you would be able to get the new Christmas item this year. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the data mining of stuff. So some, current content stuff. Soul Cinders has been massively buffed from Torghast. So the Torghast wings now drop almost triple the amount of soul cinders. Soul Ash and Soul Cinders. There's a bag of explored souls on the Enlightened vendor. So this one's out in Haven. It's the Enlightened Quartermaster. And it is sold for 3,000 cosmic flux. You have to be at least honored to buy it, but it provides enough Soul Ash and Soul Cinders to craft a rank 7 legendary item. Also, there has been a hotfix, so the drop rate and the amounts dropped of the materials you see on screen right now has been upped a lot. I think this is great news. However, for gold sellers, it might not be, because that Progenitor Essentia, that shit sells pretty high on the auction house. Last week, I had talked a bit on the World First race. We have a completion. So that happened kind of just in the nick of time of me doing the video. So it happened yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday, so yesterday was Saturday. And Echo got the World First. So this was a super long race. This was an 18-day race. Team, so they had 2 tanks. One was a monk, other Death Knight. Their healers consisted of Holy Priest, Disc Priest, Holy Paladin, and a Mistweaver monk. Lots of melee there and ranged. So grats to them. 18 days is a long time. That has got to be the longest race I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't recall any race taking longer than that. And they're sitting there for 16 hours a day doing this. Like, don't get me wrong, I've gamed many hours a day too, but you're not forced to sit there. You can get up, move around whenever you want, right? But they are forced to sit there, and they're wiping over and over and over, and they're seeing the same scenery over and over. And yeah, that has got to be rough. That has got to be tough to just see the same shit for 16 hours a day every day for 18 days. I always thought it'd be cool to be part of a World First team or something, but I just could not do that. That is just too much. Plus, I can only handle wiping on bosses, for so long before I just rage the fuck out. So, as for some little stats, they had 2 tanks, 5 healers, 13 DPS. The average item level was 274.4. And everyone in the raid group had their 4-piece sets. There was actually one lock in the group to be holding on to a 5-piece set. Good luck for them. 5-piece is just kind of bonus. Like, you just need the 4-piece for all the equips. But it is interesting because, as a collector myself, when I see someone have a 5-piece, I'm like, damn, you don't have to collect those transmogs. Team Liquid has chosen to fly home. This was reported yesterday, so they'd be flying home the day I'm recording this video, which is Sunday. And they're going to continue progression Monday, which is the day you're seeing this pop up on the channel. So yeah, there was a tank that had to go back to work before that was mentioned before anyone had even gotten the jailer kill, and yeah, they were starting to get really burnt out. Here's some tweets from Max, who's from Liquid, saying, said this on stream, but we're stopping after dinner tonight, flying home tomorrow. We'll finish the race strong on Monday and onwards if necessary, but right now we are all burnt to a crisp. I'm proud of how we played in the race. all things considered, and we're blasting up until 8 to 9 days. Our mental and sleep just did not hold up to doing this for much longer. It was pretty damaging. Certainly something to look to improve if Blizzard is going to do this again. That's a tough call. My overall opinion of this is it's all on you. You choose to be in the world first race. You know what that's all about. You know that there's no confirmed date when you will finish that race. It's not over till it's over. And yeah. And I have often believed that, you know, when it's a mythic mode on a brand new raid, it should take a while. You should not be able to walk in and slap bosses and, you know, be done, right? So while I feel bad that they, you know, do these long hours and all that, I don't necessarily agree with that last line. The something to look to improve. I get that it burns them out and all that, but so does a lot of stuff in this world that we choose to do, and it's all on you. You know, if you're burnt out from doing something, it's because you chose to do it. You know, and you went in knowing that you were going to be doing that for a while. You know, it's like, do you think I've never gone burnt out on creating content? You know, like, yeah, but I love to create content, and that's just what I do, right? So I just keep doing it. When I'm editing videos, I'm literally sitting in this chair for hours editing, and then I'm sitting in it recording videos, you know, so yeah, I know how it feels to be sitting for a long extended period of time, and yeah, I understand, you know, I understand burnout and just being tired, and I definitely understand your mental health. You know, I've been on a stream break this past month, and it's all due to mental health. And that's what you do. You take a break. I get for these guys, they can't really take a break from a race, but you can prepare a little better for it, maybe. It's not like the race is year-round or anything, you know? Like, they know when it's gonna start. They have a rough idea of how long they may be in that race, and they can just prepare a little better. The most recent hotfixes, so this is from March 22nd, which also includes fixes to the Vengeance 4-piece set, and also the Hunter's Conduit Marksman's Advantage. As for my accomplishments this week, my biggest goal this week was to get the Boar Soul Shape from Time Walking. So the Boar Soul Shape comes from
Welcome to the
Warlords of Draenor Time Walking. So the Boar Soul Shape was quite the RNG. This sucker took 10 Time Walking dungeons for me to get him, but I got him, and he is so cute, and he's bigger than I thought. I feel like they gave us a good Boar Soul Shape for this. And the second accomplishment that I did was my monk. So once I got the Boar Soul Shape, because I had to do that on my main character, because soul shapes aren't account bound, so you can't just like hop to another Night Fae if you want it on one specific character. And I like all mine to be on my druid, so I stuck it out on the druid for those 10 dungeons. And then once I got the Boar Soul Shape, I swapped to the monk. And what I like to do is I like to level and farm infinite. Time walking, although people will say it's good leveling, it is no longer good leveling. Don't do it if you have infinite. It is only worth it if you're farming infinite. But if you already have that mount, you could get way faster levels questing. But it's not a horrible experience. Like, yeah, if you feel like doing some dungeons, you will level semi-fast, just not speedy fast. But yeah, so I did that, and I got her to 60, which was pretty good, because when I first logged on the monk, she was only 52, so I got 8 levels on her, so yeah. And after that, I needed a break. I wanted to so badly swap to another alt and do more, but between the druid and the monk, I did at least 20 dungeons. Yeah, I don't think it would be much more than 20, but I gotta say it's at least 20. Yeah. So I was pretty time walking burnt out by then, so I took a break. But I felt pretty accomplished. Got the 2 things I wanted to get. And yeah, and then this isn't really an accomplishment, but I thought I'd add it in for anyone else that's maybe farming this out. But for those that watch my streams, you probably remember that I'm still doing the Ice Crown tournament mounts, because I do them and then I put them off for like a year, and then I do more, and then I put them off for a year. I'm trying my best not to put them off again. We're gonna try to get all the rest I need. And I was really close. I was really close to getting a mount, and then I saw this item and I thought it would be more worth it than a mount. And it is the Argent tab. So basically, if you use it, it directly ports you to Argent Tournament. And I've been getting kind of sick of porting and then flying over. And yeah, so at least now I can just hearth right in there. And yeah, so that sucker cost me 50. I contemplated it for a while. And in the end, it made the most sense, because the tab is usually the very last thing I'll purchase on a vendor list. But this tab has a use to it, right? And a very good one when you're farming a shit ton of mounts out there. So I thought it was more worth it than to spend it on the next mount, because it would kind of suck to leave it to last and then I never need to hearth over to the Ice Crown tournament anymore because I'm done, right? So I bought that instead. Maybe I should have probably a mount purchased for the next WoW Weekly video. Yeah, it depends. I don't go out there every day, but I try my best to go out there every day. So it really depends. There's always a day or two missing from the week that I don't go out there. So that's what I did with my week in WoW for this reset. That calls it on this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great next reset, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.